Well, I figured I'd wear my Terry Funk shirt, being that SummerSlam's in Cleveland this weekend. Seems they've been all over the place. They were at a wing stop right across the street from me yesterday, but this is what pisses me off about these outfits. However, I don't know who Drew McIntyre and Bailey are. Obviously, they're wrestlers or whatever. I don't follow the WWE, so this thing was supposed to start from noon until 2, and people were out there at 8 o'clock, 8:30. No security, no one watching the lines, people with babies and strollers, people in wheelchairs, I don't know, I don't get it. I didn't see security show up until about 10:30 because, like I said, I was walking my dogs out there. So I don't know, it just seems kind of weird that, they did this, and there's all kinds of shit complaints all over the town board about the manager of Wingstop is a piece of shit and was rude and shit like that, and some woman must have had a couple handicapped children and they wouldn't accommodate them, or I don't know, it just screws everything up. But anyway, a slight update on Grindhouse Resurrection. Unfortunately, John has decided to step away for a while. He also knows that my decision is pretty much to end it after 4. But what happened was I just lined up everything that I have as far as my articles, my friend Bill's articles, who spent a lot of time on 42nd Street and is a native New Yorker. There's close to 3 dozen articles that are sitting around. Some were left over from issue 3 because we made room for the Gary Kent tribute. So I was looking at this, and one of the Fusebox guys said something, why don't you just make it a book? Like that old research stuff they used to do. So I'm thinking that maybe we do have enough stuff here to actually make, something nice and thick. Of course, it's going to cost more than $10, but it'll be loaded with stuff that has never been seen before. And that's what I'm going to try to do. So, I'll let everybody know when we figure out how we're going to do this, but that seems to be the best course of action. Of course, I'm going to have to go through the same company that publishes my other stuff and hope that we don't get nicked. So, therefore, I can't really put anything explicit into the book because that's what happened the last time we got kicked off. But anyway, how about a little excerpt from Whole Bag of Crazy, Part 2, One Last Toke. I really don't talk too much about the hustling days here, so let's do a hustling days story. It involves a perfume called Chanel No. 5. I don't even know if this is still made, but Chanel No. 5 back in the day used to sell for $50, and it was the big popular perfume. So, of course, dealing with the people I deal with, there was what they called bathtub Chanel available. It was packaged right down to the rice paper insert. I don't know what the real difference was. I guess the fragrance didn't last as long as the actual Chanel. But anyway, if I bought a case of 100, it cost me $250, $2.50 per bottle. So me not being greedy and wanting to turn it over fast, sold it for $5. So what happened was, my younger brother, who was a complete douchebag and a piece of shit, and I won't even go into that, was hanging around at this pizzeria. So, of course, he was buying the stuff to make himself look good with his buddies and his little girlfriends. So the owner of the pizzeria must have got wind of this, and I get a phone call, can you come down to the pizzeria? Frank wants to talk to you. He's the owner. So I go down, and he goes, I want to buy 10 bottles of that stuff. I said, yeah, no problem, $50. He goes, not cheaper than I'm buying 10? I said, dude, I got no problem, $5 a bottle all day long, and I ain't got a lot left. So he buys the 10. All right. About 2 weeks later, Chanel takes out a full-page ad in the Daily News in New York explaining about the bootleg Chanel. All right, well, the cover is blown. But, the whole thing is, this shows, people's inherent dishonesty. Because, you're buying a $50 item for $5. What do you think it is? I mean, I could have been a prick and got 10, 15, but no, I just wanted to turn it over, make some money, and go on to the next thing. So anyway, a few days after that article breaks, I get a nervous call from my brother. He's at the pizzeria and Frank is really upset and Frank wants to have a talk with me. I'm like, okay. So I go down there, and this is completely unnecessary. I walk in and here's this guy Frank with a shotgun on the counter, a cut-off shotgun. Cut down to legal size, it was legal, but for whatever fucking reason, he felt it necessary to have a shotgun on the counter. Was this to intimidate me? I guess so, but you know something? I don't intimidate that easy, because you're not going to start a fucking shootout in a pizzeria with a sawed-off shotgun. So I go in and I go, what's the problem? He goes, the problem is you screwed me. I said, how so? He goes, you sold me counterfeit merchandise. I said, well, at the time, I was under the impression the stuff was hot, because that's another thing too. When you sort of imply something is stolen, people jump on it. So I said, that's the way I bought it. I bought it as it fell off the back of a truck. I had no idea that it was counterfeit. Well, you made me look bad. I said, how did I make you look bad? Well, I gave it to friends. I said, you gave it to friends to look like a big shot, and now you don't look like a big shot. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because obviously you're overreacting to this whole thing to the point where you brought this thing out. So I reach in my pocket, I peel off $50, I lay it on the counter. I said, we're even. He goes, no, we're not. I said, I don't know what else you want me to do, pal. I said, I usually don't do this, but being that you're really acting out of, you're just acting fucking weird, and pulling a gun on me is not going to impress me. I said, here's your 50, have a nice day, goodbye. Okay, so I leave. I lose $50, but it's better than dealing with this asshole. So down the road, I'm selling other shit, and I get another call from my brother that, oh, I'm down at the pizzeria, and I says, go fuck yourself, and I hung up. So that's how things sometimes backfire in the wide world of wheeling and dealing. It's really odd that, you know, I found out early on that if you don't tell people out and out that it's like, you know, what was the other thing I said? Goods of a questionable origin. So, you know, if you basically imply that something might be shaky, people will jump on it. Another case in point was, when I was working for this sweater company, I would pick up all the tags off the returns, you know, the Macy's tags, the Sears tags and stuff like that, and keep them. Then I'd go into New York and buy my own sweaters, which cost me $5, $6 a piece, put these tags on them, and people thought, wow, these things are hot, I'm going to buy them. So I'd get $10 for them. So that's how some shit works back then and there. So I will keep everybody abreast of the continuing saga of Grindhouse Resurrection. And I wish John the best. I know there's things going on in his life that take precedent. So we will see how this shakes out. So until next week, stay safe. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. And we will catch you on the flip side.